Hey guys, Buffing Game back today, bringing our video, and today we're covering the Battlefield beta information. Finally, we got the Battlefield beta dates announced here for next week, starting on the 6th through the 10th, and we're going to go through all the information, the gameplay. We have some new weapons that we saw here in the gameplay. We had some good confirmation as to new ones which we got looks at from existing trailers, and we have a lot of information in regards to progression and unlocks and mastery challenges and camos, cosmetics, things like that, how things will unlock in the beta. So we'll go through all the information regarding the beta, and then we'll break down into some new weapons as well. So first off, here over on the Battlefield website, if you want to check that out, I'll link it down below. There's a lot of information. I'll link two different pages here so you guys can read up basically on everything I'm going to go over here in the video. I'm just going to condense it down. So first off, the beta starts October 6th through the 9th. However, it does say that it will run through the 10th, which is going to be Sunday would be the 10th. So it seems like it'll start the open beta for everybody Friday the 8th through Sunday the 10th, and the early access beta, if you pre-order the game, will start on the 6th. So technically the 6th being Wednesday through Sunday the 10th. Now, you can preload on Tuesday, October 5th for Battlefield 2042 beta. Now, what the beta is going to include, we're going to be playing Conquest on the Orbital map. So Conquest, if you're not familiar with Battlefield's Conquest mode, it's basically a large-scale domination, right? There's going to be different sectors broken up across the map, and you'll need to control at least 1 or 2 capture points within those sectors, and the tickets will count down from there based on whichever team controls more conquest points or sectors throughout the map over the course of the game. So the map Orbital itself, we may have seen, maybe you saw some gameplay of the pre-alpha, which is under NDA, but if you haven't, we do see it here in the trailers, especially here in the beta trailer. It's obviously heavily featured in the only map feature because it will be the game we're playing on, or the map we're playing on, and we're going to have tornado effects, things like that, which we'll get into. But the map itself, the description is a race against time and hostile conditions. You fight around the site and an imminent rocket launch. So basically the players, we are going to be in control as to whether or not the rocket launches successfully or not, and whether or not the rocket blows up, so or if it even launches at all. So it's going to be all dynamic within our control as to how we play on the map and what happens within the gameplay. So I'll have to see how that goes. During the beta, we'll have access to 4 specialists. Now, they won't all be unlocked at first. You're going to be able to, we'll get into this when we get into progression, but you will be able to unlock these 4 specialists throughout the course of the beta as you level up. The 4 specialists that will be available are really the main ones that we've known about this whole time. Going to be Webster McKay, Maria Folk, Boris the Russian, as well as Casper Van Daly. So he's our ghillie sniper-looking operator or specialist. So those will be the 4 specialists that you can eventually unlock, all of them here in the beta. PC requirements are listed over on the website. I'll link that up there below. I'll link it below in the description as well. It's going to be minimum requirements as well as recommended requirements. And a few features that we're going to be able to play around with here in the beta is going to be calling in vehicles on the go to your location. So that'll be a feature. You can call in basically tanks, things like that, not helicopters or jets. You'll have to spawn with those at the base spawns or at the spawn screen. However, you'll be able to call in vehicles like tanks, ATVs, things like that on the go. So that's explained on the website. Just will be a different button or key based on PC or consoles. Also have the Weapon Plus system will be available to play around with, and then obviously the new Conquest with the different sectors. So instead of having flags A through E, for an example, you'll basically have sector Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Echo, and each sector may have 1 to 3 capture points in it. So on the map Orbital itself, it seems like, or at least some of the maps, we're going to have up to 3 to possibly even 4 capture points in order to control that sector. So it makes Conquest, it's really the ideal way to play Conquest. So they finally, I think we've been talking about this for years now at this point, so they're doing that because the scale of the maps are so large. Now, progression unlocks. So the Battlefield briefing, again, I'll link the Battlefield briefing down below. This is going to go very heavily into progression and cosmetics as the feature of, or I guess the theme of the Battlefield bulletin or briefing today. So basically, first off, it starts out with detailed information regarding the open beta and the preload time. So like I said, open beta preload on October 5th. Early access is the 6th through the 7th. Open access is the 8th through the 9th, and then it closes on the 10th. So there's a map there showing your different locations across the globe, wherever you're located, as to when you can preload and play the game. So go ahead and check that out there as well. And then we get into progression. So earning experiences, the first thing that they're bringing back here is ribbons. So there's a few different ribbons that we'll be able to play with here, or I guess progress through in open beta. Those are broken down into different types of play styles. So based on your play style, you'll earn different ribbons. Really, the heavily featured points for you as a player as well as your team is going to be around playing the objective. So if you play the objective, you're going to get heavily good amount of points for objective ribbons, and that's going to, I think, contribute mostly to your team score as well as your overall progression as a player. However, you have other objectives. So the objective ribbon itself being play the objective, obviously. We're also going to have the wingman ribbon, which is going to be support teammates with revive and various assists. We're going to have logistics ribbon. This is going to be heal and resupply others and repair vehicles. So it's basically your medic, combat medic, and engineer type ribbons. Intel ribbon is going to be spot and disrupt enemies, such as with EMPs or destroy drones. And then combat ribbon is going to be score with kills and destroy vehicles. So the ribbons, again, there's concept art here for what they're going to look like, and they look really, really cool here. We have them broken down into the objective, wingman, logistics, and the ones we just went through. They look really neat, so you'll be able to unlock those and progress through. Now, here in the open beta, you'll have levels 1 through 99, and once you reach 99, there's going to be more levels available, that being what's called S tier. So it'll start at S001 and progress all the way through S999. So there's no additional unlocks once you get to the S tier. However, it's basically your prestige type system to show that you're a dedicated Battlefield veteran if you get all the way up to S999. And then obviously the core leveling is going to be 1 through 99. And then you have the option, or you will just automatically start the S tier of levels. So again, just to show how of an experienced Battlefield player you are, instead of capping at 50 or 140, something like that, where you can't progress any further, there's a way to still progress even when you've done everything there is to do in the game, which is cool. Now for unlocking your weapons, once you earn enough XP, you'll be promoted into the next player level. You'll unlock different weapons, attachments, things like that. We have here an example of the match summary screen, and this is going to show us the different objective ribbons, combat, squad, intel, support, the amount of XP you're going to earn, your progression tree as far as what weapons you're going to unlock next. If you look at Battlefield 4, for example, we've really seen this in every Battlefield, and then we'll see what different attachments you're going to unlock based on what weapons you've used, things like that. So basically the same of what we've seen, however, it has a really nice cosmetic overhaul. You'll be able to get access to the different specialist weapons, vehicles, and gadgets via the beta here with the unlock tree. And again, you'll have a lot of things unlocked already, just obviously for the beta experience. Then you'll get a sense, the whole point of this is to get a sense on how the unlocks and progressions work. Now, there's also a thing called Mastery. So these are going to be broken down into badges. You're going to get rewards for these. So Mastery is essentially going to be unlocked. It's hardware to unlock. Has its own Mastery badges, this being weapons, different cosmetics for your characters, things like that. You earn new unlocks by reaching certain criteria with that hardware. So a weapon, for example. One example here being the M5A3 or the MCX Spear, as it's known in real life. Assault rifle to unlock a new scope or a vehicle, gain new equipment to use and accomplish goals. Obviously, if you are focused on one thing like the M5A3, you're going to continue to progress through different mastery tiers, and when you get to these mastery tiers, you'll get different cosmetic unlocks specific for those weapons, vehicles, specialists, etc. So a certain mastery milestone could be an example of performing 40 kills with that weapon, so we use the M5A3 or the Spear as an example. You also gain cosmetics for that hardware, such as a new skin and a new tier of mastery badges you acquire to decorate your player card and boast your achievements to your friends and community, etc. So earning mastery rewards, hardware specialist, basically just shows off, if this guy, basically, if you have mastery T1, tier 1, it means you're a hardcore Battlefield player, and you know if you see somebody with those skins and cosmetics that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. So just a way to really distinguish yourself against the other players, to show that this is a Battlefield veteran that is there, and obviously he plays a lot and is very good at the game. So it's going to show how good of a player you are and how dedicated you are to Battlefield. Now, we'll get into some different cosmetics, what those look like here in a minute. The player cards is another thing touched on here. So player cards, nothing crazy here. This is just allowing more customization. Typically in the past, you've been able to, like the dog tags from Battlefield 3 and 4, you're able to customize those. The player card is going to be allowed, you're going to be allowed to customize this heavily. You're going to have the platform indicator, your level, your player badges that you choose, and your player card art, as well as the player icon and title. So all of this The card art, icon, title, badges, you'll be able to customize this as you progress and unlock different ones to customize and personalize your own player card. So again, this looks really cool. The art for this looks amazing. For the player card, just one example here. And if the art continues to look this good, that's going to be a lot of fun. And you can access these in the middle of the game, things like that, see other player cards, obviously. It's just a really good way to personalize your Battlefield experience here. Now, the game or the beta itself and the game is going to be cross-progression, so what you unlock on PC will transfer over to Xbox, PlayStation, go to Xbox, PC, vice versa, so that's all going to be cross-progression. PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, all of that should be cross-progression, same as we saw with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the previous Call of Duty, so that makes sense. Now, cosmetics. We'll get into some mastery cosmetics here, but cosmetics, obviously, you can unlock different skins for your weapons, vehicles, specialists. So these skins and unlocks are broken into different tiers, that being common, which is gray, rare, which is colored as blue classification. We have purple, which is epic, and gold, which is legendary. So rare and epic specialist skins have both headgear component and body component. You can mix and match the headgears with different bodies if you wish. However, legendary skins, which is going to be the gold, are a single outfit that cannot be mixed and matched. So that's obviously, those are basically your Mastery T1 type outfits for your specialists, your weapons, etc. And that's going to be fixed to show off your certain player dedication. But the rare and the epics, you can mix and match specialist headgear, bodies, things like that. And we have an example here of Espinosa as the Mastery Tier 1 with the black and gold, and it looks amazing. So you have an example of this for Espinosa, one of our specialists that we know about, Tier 1 outfit for him. And again, that's going to be one of the ones that's fixed, so you can't mix and match headgear and body. This is going to be a fixed one. However, other rarities, you will be able to do that. Now, we also have an example of an Apache, which is Tier 1. Again, that black and red is going to be the official cosmetic skins for your weapons, specialist, vehicles when you are at Mastery Tier 1. We have another example of the M5A3 or the MCX Spear and the PKP Pecheneg Bullpup variant with this black and red Tier 1 Mastery camo on there. It looks beautiful. So I think it's very grounded in reality. It looks very, very realistic and good. This is really good stuff, and again, this allows you to personalize your experience, show off cool unlocks that you actually worked for, and you can obviously unlock things from progression and from in-game purchases, which will be when the final game comes out, obviously. So you have all those as examples there. We see a lot of things in the trailer now. So if we jump into the trailer, which you'll see is obviously playing here in the background, there's a lot of different things that we see in the trailer, as well as some weapons that we get some really good shots of. So first off in the trailer, the orbital map, again, looks amazing. We see a lot of different color schemas in the game as far as the weather effects. So when it's sunny and nice out and there's no hurricanes or tornadoes coming, the color scheme on the map just looks beautiful. Everything's clear. You can see very, very cleanly. The graphics look beautiful. You see a lot of verticality in the gameplay with some of the high buildings here in the middle of the map next to the launch tower. Then we see the different weather effects. We see the wind pick up, tornadoes or hurricanes start picking up. We see vehicles and people getting tossed and turned around in this. We also see some examples of the rocket launching as well as failing to launch and blowing up. So again, all of that seems to be dynamic, and we or you and I as the player are able to determine the outcome of that based on how we play that match, what capture points, things like that. We'll have to wait and see how it's going to work and how it impacts the weather effects as well as whether or not the rocket launches. We see a lot of jet gameplay with lock-on missiles. We see some chopper action for the verticality. We see some Abrams action here with the tanks. The HUD and everything looks beautiful, nice and clean, like I said. Minimalized HUD, however, it's also very bolded, so it's easy to see what you need to be seeing. You have your minimap as well as your specialists for your squad on the bottom left-hand side with the tickets. You have your weapon HUD over on the bottom right-hand side. And again, it doesn't take up too much space. The kill feed doesn't take up too much space. I think they really have a nice-looking HUD here. I'm excited to see what this looks like. Now, for weapons, we get a really good shot of the Mark 17 or the Scar H here in the trailer. Now, we've known this is going to be in the game for a while since the original trailer release. I think I caught it in that gameplay trailer for the reveal. However, we see a nice shot of the Scar 17 here with the proprietary 40mm grenade launcher by FN Herstal. We know it's a Scar 17 or a Mark 17. The weapon icon, you can see that straight mag for the 7.62 variant, as well as on the left-hand side of the upper receiver, we do see caliber labeled as 7.62 millimeters. So we know it is a Scar Heavy. We have that different type of futuristic rail system that we've seen on all the different weapons, which looks like it's probably some sort of magnetized or quick equipped rail system to replace the Picatinny rail system. That way you're not, if you've ever put optics and scopes on Picatinnys, you're going to need basically a toolkit to lock things into place. So this seems to be like a quick rail system, which makes perfect sense for the year 2042. We also get some shots of the M5A3 or the MCX Spear. We have the LWRC SMG 45 in action with a Leopold hammer sight. And we also have, with that MCX Spear, we have the Razor Vortex optic on there. We have some iron sights for that. And then one weapon here that I also spotted, well, the community also spotted here on the HUD during one of the weather scenes, we do see what appears to be a Tavor 21. So basically, a Tavor 21, we've seen the X95, which is a 9mm, 9x19 variant of the Tavor in Battlefield in the past. I believe it was in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. So we see a brief shot of this on the weapon HUD on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. And again, it just looks like it's definitely a Tavor variant in 5.56x45 NATO. We see it very, very quickly. Most likely that'll have a conversion to something like a Tavor 7. However, and that would be a 7.62x51. However, there is the chance that this is not a Tavor and it's actually one of the other bids for the next generation squad weapon system, that being one of the bullpup variants from General Dynamics or Textron. Again, it's very hard to distinguish which one it is, or I think General Dynamics is the one that is the only bullpup option. So either General Dynamics or Textron is going to be the bullpup variation for the next generation squad weapon program bid. And again, this could potentially be one of those. However, with the curved mag on there, it looks potentially like it's unlikely that it is a 6.8x51mm weapon, but it very well could be. So let me know down below what else you spot in the trailer. We'd also see some shots of the Chris Vector, the M6 Spear, like I said, and the awesome destruction of the rocket as it fails to blow up. We see a lot of the weather effects. The trailer looks amazing. I'm really excited. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if I missed anything in the gameplay. Let me know if you're excited. Again, this is going to be, I believe it's going to be on PlayStation 5, the new Xbox, and PC. I'm not sure if the trailer is going to be for the previous generation of consoles or not. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say no. However, it's not really indicated anywhere here whether or not it is on the last-gen versions of consoles. Actually, it is. I lied. So it is on the map. It is going to be available on PS5, PS4, PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and S. So all consoles going to be available for the open beta. Let me know what you guys think down below. This is Buffner Gaming with the Battlefield 2042 beta information, weapons, and more. Until next time, Buffner Gaming, out.